What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Behind the Deal. It feels like it's been forever since we did Behind the Deal, or at least I did, because Brady, I think you tackled it last time, man. So thanks for stepping in on the last Behind the Deal, and I'm pumped to be back.
It's been a few weeks. We were in sunny San Diego 2 weeks ago at our team retreat, and before that, Trevor was in sunny Hawaii, having Mai Tais on the beach. Yeah. Anyways, welcome everyone. Today's episode is the birthday deal because today is Keith Sant's birthday. Happy birthday, man!
Heck yeah! Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It's actually not the birthday deal; it's the beer box condo deal. But
dude, it's been so cool seeing pics of your little puppy too, man. Just the cutest little thing, big time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's grown so big.
So you took him on the airplane? So you were just in Texas recently, visiting your business partner Beto. It was amazing having a chance to meet Beto up here at Carrot Camp as well. Just one of the best dudes in the world. But dude, was that a business trip? Was it just pleasure hanging out with Beto? Kind of what was the focus on the Texas trip?
Yeah. So we got a storage unit facility under contract, actually in Arkansas, and for like 85 grand, and like you could sell all day for 250. And so I flew into Dallas. He picked me up, drove through Oklahoma up to the Ozarks in Arkansas, drove back down, hung out there for 2.5 weeks, and took my puppy. He was super chill, but like he got so big, he barely fit in the container to bring him on as a carry-on. So I got home just in the nick of time. But no, it was a blast.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, dude, one kind of cool thing, we're putting out a Carrot Cast series on partnerships. So it's going to be coming out here in the next month or so. And one thing that was really, really common is at Carrot Camps here, or even for me too, it seems like the most successful people were the ones who had a partner in some way, shape, or form. I know, Keith, you've got your business up in Washington. You do an amazing job there. And then you've got some of the deals that you partner on with Beto and others as well. So if anyone wants to grow your business, guys, it's pretty darn common that the people who are having the most success tend to be in partnerships with awesome people. And it's also really fun when you're partnering with great people. So check out that episode of the Carrot Cast coming out. Let's go to carrotcast.com. But we're going to dive into the beer box deal. So I'm going to toss over to you, Brady, to set this puppy up, and then we're going to dive in and analyze it, which would be a blast. The beer box deal. Oh, can't hear you. You're on mute.
Whoop, my bad. Here we go.
There we go.
Without spoiling the whole story, Keith, we'll roll the video in just a second here. What was the craziest part, or what was the most interesting part about this deal for you? About the beer box condo?
The amount of stuff that was in this 750 square foot unit. Like, yeah, and you would have never guessed by the guy, the way he dressed, how clean cut he was, how articulate and thorough he was in all of our, phone and email communications. But it was a lot.
Rock and roll. Well, let's roll the video, and then we'll break it down, where the lead came from, how the deal went down, everything we learned, everything in between. All right, let's check it out.
What up, guys? Here at new condo flip, and I really like to drink Heffenweizen. This is just, you can hear the clinking of more bottles up there. More bottles full of all those. It's a bit of a hoarder house. So it's gonna be a fun Saturday.
I got this lead from, it was a little different. The seller reached out to me because he read a newspaper article that a reporter did about my company. It was a super quick appointment. It was like literally, it was 3:30. I was in my truck by 3:41. There wasn't much I could see because, it was just literally this high full of stuff and higher in the bedrooms.
We got it so we could walk in here. So that's cool.
Walking over 3 feet of stuff.
Here's the kitchen. Needs a little work. I don't know. Can't really see there.
It was quick. He agreed to my price right off the bat and said it sounded fair. Closing went super smooth. And just knocking out another one.
This is the recyclables. There's a little cleared out spot back there. I'm pretty sure it was for the dog. R.I.P.
super excited. Got it for 110. I'm only putting about 30,000 into it, and planning on selling it about 250 to 265. Woohoo!
Dude, you weren't lying, man. That's probably more Hefeweizen beer boxes than I've ever seen in my life. Was that the only brand? Was there at least some PBR in there? Or was it just straight up Hefeweizen, man?
They were all, like wheat based. There was a few Blue Moons, a couple other ones here and there,
Yep.
probably when the corner store didn't have the Hefeweizen, but it was Hefeweizen through and through.
Dude, is this the deal, Keith? Is this the deal that we're working on together, or is this a different one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was going to say the prices seem pretty similar to what we were talking about, which, okay, good. I've got a connection to this one. This is awesome then.
Right.
I like it. So let's kind of break it down. You had mentioned in that video where the lead came from, and I think it was in a previous Behind the Deal or another episode of a Carrot Cast maybe that we did, where you talked about getting written up in a newspaper article. Let's break down for people how you got this lead. So how did this specific person find you? And then let's kind of show some people maybe how you went about or how it came about that you end up getting written about it. But is that where they found it? It was from that newspaper article?
Yeah. A reporter hit me up on a Thursday, said he was writing a piece about, the housing market in Olympia. And, I've heard other real estate investors say they just stay away from, people because they'll, no matter, they have their own agenda, right? And they like to paint real estate investors as sharks. And, so I was kind of cautious, but at the same time, like, I was like, okay, I'll talk to the guy.
Yep.
It was a good and fair article. He even, reached out to one of my past customers who had nothing but great things to say about me. I talked to him on Thursday, talked to past seller on Friday. The thing was published on a Sunday morning, and the seller filled out the form Sunday afternoon, evening, and booked an appointment with me through my calendar link on Tuesday. And so I showed up on Tuesday and got the deal. And at first I didn't know that it was from the newspaper article because it showed Google search, right? Because he searched for me after reading it. Yeah. And so I sent him over the contract. He said, awesome, great. I'm excited to do business with you. And P.S. you got great publicity from the Olympian, it was called.
Gotcha.
So that's when I talked to him, and he told me that's where he heard it from me.
How did kind of refresh us on this? How did the newspaper article writer find you? So how did you end up becoming the person that they hit you up on?
From my bandit sign.
Ah, that's right.
With Kind House Buyers. So he said he's gotten texts, calls, letters, Justin wants to buy your house and blah, blah, blah. So he actually called the 2 postcards that he got, and they didn't answer. And he saw my bandit sign in his neighborhood, went to my website, called my website phone number. And so that's, yeah.
I love it. Guys, this is the big lesson I want to put out there for people. And it's funny, I was talking with Brent on our team here at Carrot and here in Roseburg. He's starting to put out bandit signs here in Roseburg. And I know for a fact that they work because one of our clients, who was a long-term client, still is, he was crushing it in Roseburg with bandit signs. Crushing it meaning like he would pull out consistent deals, not a high volume, but 4 or 5 a year. But he's like, dude, there's some of the best deals. And so the bandit sign coupled with the PR, right, but also coupled with the online website, that's how we start to build that credibility profile. We get people to know about who we are through our offline marketing. And then the online marketing, in this case, was the credibility builder for you, which is like an amazing 1-2 punch. It makes it so you don't, you're not really competing against a lot of other home buyers out there because your credibility is so high in that seller's mind. It's like a magic.
Absolutely.
So they found you, they read the newspaper article, saw you and saw, hey man, this guy's probably a legit, honest guy. The name of his company is Kind Home Buyers, House Buyers. And then they Google search you, they find you, your Carrot site says that they came from a Google search. So you saw that that's where they came from. You asked them, they said, great publicity in the article. So bam, you make the connection there. One thing that you had mentioned was about the Calendly link. And I know it's the same thing. We had talked about this briefly on one of your previous calls, but I think this is such a cool tool. Keith, have you been seeing people fill out the Calendly link pretty consistently after they fill out the step 2 once you added that to your website?
Yeah, I mean, at least a third of the people that come to my website fill out that calendar link, but I feel like, there shows a higher level of intent when they're like, yes, come to my house. I'm ready for an appointment, right?
Okay.
And yeah, that's like my 12th deal now that I've closed from someone that filled out a calendar link and I show up since, what was it, last May, I believe, yeah.
I want to show this really quick, guys, because you guys are probably wondering. So I've got Keith's Carrot site pulled up here. And this right here is the step 2 form. So if someone were to fill out the step 1 form, which is this big form here, and that he's made some really, really good modifications to his Carrot site, really brings in that credibility in a big way, brings in some before and afters in some of the deals, lots of testimonials. So guys, if you can imagine seeing this website compared to most of the other investors' websites in that market, even some of the Carrot members, right? So Keith has the tech stack with Carrot to really give him that edge, but then he added that credibility and really made it jump out. So they put in the information here. They then landed on this page, which was it's the step 2 form to get more information. And then after that, I ended up landing here. And it said basically, thanks. So what's next? Thanks for telling us a bit about your house. Once we get the email, we'll dive into it or schedule an appointment. And guys, here's the thing is the purpose of the initial call as an investor to that seller is to see if it's got potential and to get an appointment. But if that person can already set up an appointment right there, that's a pretty darn powerful thing. Then it's just straight up a link to Calendly. It's not even embedded on the page. So that's pretty cool, dude. And it looks like you pretty much got any times that fit within your time schedule that you want to make work all available on there. That's cool. I like it. Good stuff. Good stuff. So you got the deal. You started talking with the person. Was there any level of negotiation on this deal? Kind of how did that go down to where you guys came to a price on it?
There wasn't, I kind of walked in through the house as much as I could. There's some rooms I couldn't even walk in.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like a little trail. I came, I'm like, okay, we came out onto the front porch and, he knew it was a hoarder. He's like, I'm sure you've seen a hoarder house. And I didn't realize it was his. All the other hoarder houses I've ever gotten were inherited. Right. So this is the first one I'm talking to, but he decided to move on. He already was in a new place, whatnot. But I literally just, let me calculate some stuff. I'm like, based on what I'm seeing and, the amount of work I'm going to need, like, how would you feel? Or, what would you say if I offered you 110? And he said, I feel like that's a fair price.
Cool.
And that was it. I'm like, okay. And so I'll draft the stuff up, email it right over. I got it. So as soon as I got home, emailed it. He signed it within 30 minutes and it was good to go.
And one of the cool things about this too, and if there's any real estate agents listening to this that are interested in either partnering with guys like Keith or becoming a hybrid, that property would have been a really, really hard one to sell on the retail market. I mean, really hard to sell. And most agents probably would have looked at it with all the stuff in there and not done anything with it. And so this is one of those really good examples where an investor, like Keith, can step in there and really take a property that's underperforming, that's really not attractive to the market, clean it up, do a real service, and then put it on the market. So you got it locked down for 110. Is there anything, Keith, in this transaction that has popped up since then that was a surprise, or anything that's jumped out to you that was out of the ordinary, or has it been going pretty smooth so far?
So like day one, I met all the neighbors. They all came out. They're like, where's Steven? And like, he didn't tell anyone he left or nothing. And anyways, I met the lady downstairs and she's like, oh, you're going to be flipping this place. Like, and she understood her husband's a contractor, but she is a lawyer. She's a judge.
Oh, really?
That works downstairs doing virtual hearings from Zoom. Yeah. So like, she was like, I need quiet time, like from like 8 to 4 p.m. And I'm like, well, my contractors need to work. But yeah, they don't call me kind house buyer for nothing. So we were super considerate, like overly considerate, being super quiet, kept a lot of it's like old carpet and padding and brought in some other stuff, added extra layer of underlayment and stuff just to really, and they were super appreciative and they even baked me cookies and brought them up. And, yeah, but that, it delayed some stuff, but it wasn't a huge project, and I wasn't really worried about the timeline. And so, yeah.
Cool. Dude, so let's break this down. So you're buying it for 110. You mentioned, I think it's about $30,000 you're putting into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 110 plus 30, it's 140 into it. And then what do you feel that purchase or that sales price is going to be at the end of the day?
For sure, 250, probably closer to 265, given
Mhm.
like because it did take longer, and we're kind of getting to the end, but
Yep.
it's better that I'm not listing it in January, really.
Yep.
So it was literally a win-win. So yeah, probably 265-ish.
Awesome.
Are
So
you
we've got,
flipping this? Are you flipping this by yourself, or are you using a crew?
I got like a few people to work, but I didn't trust some other guys to be as quiet and gentle. So I've literally been there almost every day. Did flooring, put in the bathtubs, shower, tile, all that stuff, and yeah,
Okay.
it's been fun.
Okay, that's good. I was gonna say, I remember seeing you putting in tile. I'm like, is Keith doing this whole condo by himself?
Yeah. Me and this girl Katie have been there like every single day. She's just been awesome.
That's cool.
That's awesome, dude. So I'm working the numbers. I'm going to run through this with people right here. So literally the person found you from a newspaper article because you have bandit signs. The bandit sign person, the article person called you. They ended up researching you in Google. You found your carrot site, saw that you were real, saw that you're legit, saw the credibility built in on there. They wrote a great positive article about you. This person saw it, calls you, or then Googles your company name, goes to the website, opts in, carrot site shows it was a Google search. They tell you, they saw you in the article. You then went in there, worked some numbers, gave them an offer. You guys accepted right there. I mean, it's like, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of back and forth negotiation or none at 110. So it worked really well for the seller. You're going to put about 30K into it. What was the timeline again, Keith, as far as how long the construction period is going to be?
I'd say like 90 days.
Okay. So 90 days. 90 days right there. The potential sales price is somewhere between 250 and 270 or 250, 260 around there. So guys, we're talking $100,000 profit deal right here, which is crazy, man. So, and this is on a condo. This is on a condo, guys, from someone who found them on a newspaper article and Google searched his carrot website that did not negotiate the deal and at all. The price was fair, $100,000 profit deal. And this is, dude, this right here, this is the kind of stuff that can make it so people that are watching this, number one, it gives you like amazing hope that as you start to look at average profit per deal, there might be some deals that are smaller, that are the $10,000 deal or 15 or whatever it is. But then you get these pops like this where I remember there were some that Adrian and I were working on that he called me up the day that he closed it. He's like, dude, this is going to be $100,000 profit deal. And just so pumped about it. And it's so fun just hearing that in his voice, because you don't get those ones every day unless you're in like the Bay Area or some of those areas where home prices are pretty much always $800,000-$900,000 or more. That's way cool. So this past year, how many deals in that 100K range, profit range have you had, or is this one kind of an anomaly?
Honestly, this one is an anomaly. Usually I'm flipping a lot, or not flipping, I'm wholesaling a lot. And, and I do a lot of JV deals, which makes, my time and energy, that I have to output very, very minimal. Mm-hmm. I know I was talking to you guys last time that I was like, only working like 10-hour weeks and whatnot. And Braden was joking with me yesterday, but I have been working a lot more, actually flipping and stuff. And it's been a lot of fun, but yeah, the lower price houses, I feel like the biggest wholesale commission I've gotten was like on a $90,000 house, and I got a $55,000 commission from it, or wholesale fee.
Yep.
But yeah.
Are you going to keep kind of cherry picking some of the good flips and doing some flips more often now and then? Or are you going to stick with the wholesaling pretty much strictly? What are you going to do with the flipping side of the business?
Yeah, I like flipping. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun now that I have some, quality people that I could trust and depend on. I mean, I was just in Texas for 2.5 weeks and they got so much done and they did it beautifully. And I was so pumped yesterday when I got back. So yeah.
I want to know, this is like, this topic has been looming for, I don't know, probably since the start of the pandemic, but how are you finding contractors? Where are you finding them? And then more importantly, what the heck are you doing anything special to get them to stay? Because everybody I talk to, whether it's somebody flipping or rehabbing or another contractor themselves, are like, I can't find good work. I can't find quality work. I can't even find a human body to come swing a hammer or take out trash. What are you doing?
a lot like that seller. I don't negotiate, and I just
Hmm.
treat them, just treat them like I'd want to be treated. I
Mhm.
mean, no joke, it was my birthday, and I got home yesterday. My contractor had 2 birthday presents wrapped for me, and they were like, it was really cool, right? Like
That's cool.
I just go out of my way to help people, and they want to help me back.
That's
Like
awesome.
a little kindness goes a long ways. And I know some of my other friend, like my buddy Jack, I partner with him on stuff, and he's nickel and diming everyone for everything, and he feels like he gets a good deal. But then he's like, tell him about how like Katie or Jessica would just like totally go above and beyond for me. He's like, I need a Katie or Jessica. I was like, stop freaking beating everyone down, then. Like, yeah.
So I've heard of people paying, it feels like a lot of the pay for contractors right now is arbitrary. And I don't mean what contractors are charging people, but what subs are getting paid or what contractors are paid in their employees. It seems kind of arbitrary. Are you asking them what they want to be paid, or are you just kind of going off of what you hear other people are getting paid?
I mean, I know it's fair, and then I also try to build people up, like I will help you get going and we'll grow together, right? Like, if you go in and find someone that's been in business for 30 years, but you want someone that's honest and wants to learn, it's a lot more labor intensive up front, but then you get to train them how you want to, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, I like to find good people, and then, they could learn any skill, right? But, you find someone with a bad attitude, like, I don't care how smart you are, I don't want to work with you. Like, I don't care how talented and gifted you are. Like, you can't train people to have a better attitude, and I just want to work with good people.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I feel like they're more invested that way too. I see contractors right now. There's almost this like, I don't even know how to describe it, but this weird off feeling where like they're already upset because they're having to pay people top dollar and the work is already hard to find. And so it's almost like it gives them the freedom to, oh, I don't have to treat them as well because they're getting paid really well. And yeah, so that's a good point. Just like treat them better.
Yeah, I mean, buying pizzas, like, just whatever. Like, oh, you've been working 10 hours? Have you eaten yet today? Okay, I'm going to order a pizza real fast. That'll go. And then, like, when you need them to work extra long to get a deadline, like, you don't even have to ask them. They want to help you out.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it. I love it, man. So with this deal here, so it's 90-day turnaround. Looks like it'll be a 100K profit deal. Is there a way, like, how do you replicate more of these? So are you going to be potentially going after more condo types of deals, or is there any kind of a strategy that can be done to see if there's more of these types? I mean, obviously the biggest strategy is inbound marketing because they find you when they're really motivated. But anything else that you might be looking at or trying, or continue to just to step into the inbound side with Garrett?
No, absolutely. I love condos. I remember getting my first condo, and I knew it was a good deal, but I was worried about trying to wholesale it. And I had so many people like, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. I even sold it like $5,000. I got like a $45,000 assignment on it. And I was worried, but then I realized all the feedback, like the people that love condos love them because there's no exterior rehab.
Yeah.
It's literally interior, no siding, no roof, no foundation issues. So they're really fast and easy. And so that kind of opened my eyes. There are some things to look out for, but as far as like targeting condos, yeah, I mean, you could get a list of, any condo in certain, just condo owners, and, Facebook target them after you do some cheap skip tracing. You can, definitely. I love mobile homes and condos. Some of the other guys are shying away from them, which is a lot less competition, and they're lower price point, easier to get in. And like I said earlier, usually the lower price point properties end up making higher margins on.
I like it. Guys, if you guys have questions, pop the questions through the comments box, and we'll have a little bit of time for a couple of questions for Keith. And Keith, I'm pumped to hang out with you again here shortly in a few months at Carrot Camp in May, and hopefully again in September as well. And I'm pumped about that. One thing that you've talked about quite a bit, and one of the reasons you come to Carrot Camp, and we talked about at the start of this as well. What's up, Tyler? Another Carrot Camper right there. What's up, man? One thing that you talk about a lot is really finding ways and opportunities to partner with other investors, especially a lot of newer investors. They'll kind of shy away from partnering because they don't want to give up a part of a deal. And they think that giving up 50% or 30% or whatever the number is, or getting just a small percentage of that is not a good thing for them. So they want to go out there and get the whole deal. What are some of the things that you do on the partnering side of things, or JVing? And I know you do a good number of deals. Kind of what percentage of your deals right now might be from JVs versus your own marketing?
And I'd say like almost 80% of them are like JV deals, whether they're from my marketing or from other people that I've helped, bring me in on deals that they don't even need me on. Like, but yeah, so like, what was the question? I'm sorry.
You're good. So about 80% of your deals are a JV in some way, shape, or form, where either someone brings you a lead and says, hey, can we work on this together? Or you have a lead and you take it to somebody, an agent or somebody else, to work on together. And when you're going into events like Carrot Camp or other things, how do you start to kind of build those relationships to build trust for the people that you're going to JV with?
Help them out. Like literally, like, when Bo Hollis, I met Bo Hollis last time, and he was so cool. I spent like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 hours just helping him do some cool stuff. And he was so grateful. And like, I've taught other people, but he actually implemented it, which, okay, dude, okay, cool. Now that you did that and you got some momentum, now you do X, Y, and Z to really even increase that. I mean, we talked yesterday. He's like, let's connect on another call. But like, I just helped him, and now he wants, he would help me anytime I need it. If I need it, but I just like helping people, not because I think I'm going to get anything out of it. But yeah, definitely. And as far as your first question too, about like, partnership and, giving up percentages and whatnot, like, when I was doing like 5 deals a month on my own, I was miserable because I'm trying to wear 1,000 hats and I wasn't good at everything. Like, I was good at a couple things and not everything. So I could scale the couple things that I'm really good at and that actually like kind of bring me energy. I couldn't scale doing everything all the time without, being constantly, sick, low immune system, tired, like just not there present with everyone. But I could do a lot more deals just kind of doing what I do, which actually gives me the same amount of money or more with way less time and energy invested.
See, that's the key right there, guys. And I did a podcast on this through the Carecast I think last couple months. And I talked about, rather than just looking at the amount of money that you're earning, like let's say your gross revenue or net revenue, what I want people to look at is, what is your earning per hour? Like, what's your earning power per hour of work? And that's what Keith is talking about here is by sharing and partnering with deals, with people on deals. Is his income going up? Quite possibly it is, but even if it isn't, even if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like let's say the amount of money that's coming in, I'm going to make up a round number just for illustration's sake. Let's say Keith is working, 10 hours a day and he's bringing in, $500,000 a year or whatever it is. Okay. That's really, really good pay, but you're working all the time. Now, let's say he was working 5 hours a day and making $450,000 a year or $400,000 a year. I would much rather work 5 hours a day and make $400,000 a year than 10 hours a day and make $500,000 a year. Your earnings per hour is dramatically higher. And when that's the case, now you can actually, like you were saying, you can go enjoy your time now. And that's where the freedom part of the equation is that we talk about here at Carrot, where we say drive businesses of freedom and impact. When you can have the freedom, now you can go out there and actually impact people and hop on calls with them and help them and do charity work and go down to Texas for 2 weeks and work with your business partner, all kinds of cool stuff, man. So that right there is one of the biggest mindset shifts I would love for more investors to make. And I'm pumped seeing, I got a front row seat of seeing you make that, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Dude, I want to know, on the topic of people reaching out to you from Carrot Camps, I sense like a common theme. Is there something that you get people asking you? Like, is there a question you get over and over from people? Like you had mentioned, people reach out to you and they probably don't actually need your help. Maybe it's a little confidence boost or maybe a second set of eyes, but is there any one question you get from people?
I mean, all kinds of things. A lot of it's like, hey, Keith, let me run this by you. Or, hey, what would you do with this? Or, hey, I've never done this before. What do you think? And then I get a lot of, like, I talked to Andrew just a couple days ago. He's like, man, I appreciate you so much. I'm always fired up after our call. Like, those are like direct words. Like, I could show you some. But yeah, that's, as far as impact, like, I love helping people. And that's kind of like where I found like where I get a lot of energy is from helping other investors. Because as far as like the, the single transactions in real estate itself, you don't have any long-term relationships with a lot of the sellers.
Mhm.
And yeah, I get a lot of energy from helping people. And then, yeah, it just comes around. All kinds of people from Carrot Camp and all over the place. They get a lead in Tacoma, Seattle area. Who do they think of? Me. They send it to
Yep.
me, and vice versa. And we just get to work together, and it's a lot of fun.
Dude, what you got to do is you got to start teaching the sellers SEO.
Right.
Start bringing them into your business model.
Right.
Dude, one thing you mentioned a bit ago, Keith, I think this is really important for everyone to recognize and realize this. And this is something we teach in our energy audit and some other spots as well. But you had mentioned that today you spend a lot more time doing things that give you energy versus the first time that we had a chance to meet, where you made a bunch of money. You had your first 6-figure month right before the first Carrot Camp you came to, but you're working like a dog. You didn't enjoy it. What are the things right now that give you energy? And then we'll talk about the things that remove your energy, that you started to pare away from your workday. So what are the things that give you the most energy in your work in real estate? First, we'll start there.
In work, I mean, honestly, I usually spend like 2 to 3 hours just talking to other investors, like on a daily basis,
Cool.
whether it's calls or text messages. But what's really cool is when people actually listen and actually implement. And then I get text messages like, dude, Keith, I just had my first $50,000 month.
Cool.
Or dude, Keith, like I just got a deal from what you recommended. I can't believe other people aren't doing this. Or dude, Keith, like that's what really lights me up, is when, people actually follow through. And I like everything else. I love helping people, right? On any level, whether it's helping the title company try to find some weird document from a, reconveyance that was never filed, tracking down, but yeah, that's just helping people. Sounds weird, but it's true.
So do you like the talking with the sellers part of it?
I do for sure. I don't really like talking to the buyers a lot.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I know, that's a whole nother thing, right? Like you could be really good at talking to sellers, and, I could bring deals to people and let them JV deals, have really good relationships with the buyers.
Yep. Cool.
And yeah.
So that's a really good distinction, guys. So Keith had discovered that about himself. He likes the marketing, the online marketing part. He likes solving people's problems and helping them. So helping the sellers, helping the contractors, like you were talking about before, helping the title company, just helping other investors, which ends up producing more deals. Doesn't as much like the disposition side of it. So then he partners with people that he likes that end up helping to sell those properties. Now, what are some things, Keith, that other than the disposition side, what are some of the things that take your energy away, that you've started to really work out of your work day? What usually takes your energy away?
Like really, really lame conversations, like when people just aren't listening or argumentative, or like, and also like, crucial conversations, like having to renegotiate or something. I'm like, my gosh, I hate that. Yep. I got way better at it, and I do them. It happens. And I'm not a negotiator. I hate negotiating. So if I do see a form and it's like, okay, this is a retail-ish lead, or maybe like, if they say like, hey, the property's worth 400 and I want 250, I'm calling them, because I'm helping them at that point. I'm not trying to haggle and make something out of nothing, or, but I'll send an agent or other people on those negotiations. And I just, do the easy ones, which is fun. But yeah, those are things that really take my energy.
Dude, so that's such a good distinction, guys. And what I want everyone watching this to do is go take the energy audit. We put the link through there, carrot.com/energy. It takes you 15 minutes a quarter, and write down some of those things that you're currently doing in your business and life. And like it should be all, all encompassing, your life and business, all in that one thing. What's removing your energy? What gives you energy, even if you're not doing it right now, but you're like, man, I know working out gives me energy, but I haven't been doing it. I'm going to put it down there anyway because it gives me energy, because that helps us to recognize what we need to add back in our life and what we need to remove from our life. So you start by removing the things from your life and or work that drain your energy. And like Keith has done, you go find other people to do those things because that might give them energy. And that might take a little bit of networking. It might take going and helping someone. Like the book Go Giver. I've got this book. I absolutely love it. We had Bob Berg, the author of the Go Giver, on the Carrot Cast probably a couple of years ago. And Brady landed that one. That was so cool being able to get Bob Berg on here. And dude, you're like living the Go Giver mindset. It's going out there like, I'm just going to give. I'm going to give. It gives you energy. I'm going to give. And you're not going to give because you want something from the person, but the end result ends up being to where oftentimes, man, it's like you end up getting what you gave in multiples back, which is really cool. And you're one of the best examples of that, man. Appreciate you big time.
Appreciate that.
For sure. Well, guys, if there's any questions, pop them through. Brady, anything for you on the beer box deal with Keith? If not, then we'll jump over to the tip at the end. But any other questions?
Man, I did want to ask you, Keith, about the storage unit deal before we go. But I think that beer box condo deal was just fascinating. You know, as we were putting this episode together, you and I were talking on the phone, and it was kind of an eye opener for just to see the hoarder side of it, like still a person. And it was just I was so fascinated by how you described the guy to have a head on his shoulders, really clean, really well put together, really well spoken, and just had this thing, you know, a skeleton in his closet. And I think the whole thing was just really fascinating. It's kind of sad, but I think it's a really cool opportunity. Instead of, you know, most people would look at a hoarder situation and turn it into a reality TV show or like an Instagram post and be like, oh, look at this nastiness. But this is a situation where you can truly help someone and get them out of a pit, a literal pit, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a disease. It's a real disease. And, you know, we just couldn't throw anything away.
And you're saying the guy had like brand new Amazon boxes in there, the stuff like unopened?
Unopened. There was a brand new Bowflex in a box that I found like after the 4th day of clearing out the living room. Brand new Blendtec blender. It's like a $300 blender. All this stuff that was still in the boxes. Yeah, it was, you know. But he realized that it was time. He actually got himself into like a 55 and older community, and I assume that he's, you know, a little more eyes are on and probably, you know, maybe a little accountability, and he's trying to break that cycle. So,
That's pretty cool. Before we wrap up this, we got a hard stop in about 10 minutes here, but this storage unit deal, tell us about that. How'd that come in?
Yeah, so Beto and his partner were they got 12. They bought a 12-unit apartment complex down in South Texas, and the guy has a few other, like, you know, little like 6 duplexes that they're also negotiating, and he just randomly was talking about the storage facility that he had, and it was bringing in money, and then the guy quit, and literally like not bringing in any income. It was like 35 units, and out like near, I think it was Beaver Lake or something, out in Arkansas, and like all the numbers look super solid. Obviously, from a multifamily, you know, to price it out with 0 income doesn't really look good. But if you stabilize it real quick, or even just sell it as is, it was definitely a huge profit. So we went out there to get eyes on it to make sure, you know, it's still there, and also we even paid to get it cleaned up a little bit, and took some good photos for disposition. And yeah, I mean, that was a huge deal right there.
So this isn't one of those big old, you said 35 units. This is not this big old new fancy commercial ones. This is like the smaller mom and pop rural DIY.
It is, but it's on the way to this really, whatever that lake is, it's real famous. Like people from all over the place come. It's like 2 minutes away. And every time we called all the other storage unit facilities and looked online, everyone has a waiting list. So that's a really good sign. Like even talking to them and say, hey, send some of your waiting list people our way, or, you know, hey, you know, would you like to buy this? You know, like, so there's definitely a market for it. And yeah.
Interesting. I hear that's a lot more in demand right now. I mean, storage units in general, just since the pandemic, it's harder to get.
Yeah, absolutely. And after the last recession, I think storage units outperform like anything else.
Yeah.
Uh,
And dude, that's where I'm really pumped that you're starting to make more of that, more of that intentional effort for that long-term evergreen income too. Cause it's like, when we start to look at building wealth, this is the way that I look at it. First of all, you have to get a job, right? So it's just a job. You're trading time for dollars. And then you have to figure out a way to, I guess you've got the cash flow quadrant, right? So let's use Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. I'm going to bring this up really quick, actually, because this is really important. So cash flow quadrant. All right, cool. If I can find it here, because this right here is really, really important, guys, is being able to start to make the moves towards being an investor versus just being in, I can't do two things at once. 1 second. There we go. I found it. All right, cool. So I'm going to drag this bad boy up here. See if I can zoom in on this. All right. So this isn't the best visual quality here, y'all, but you guys know where I'm going with this. I just zoomed in on the Google images here. But basically it starts with this. So you have the employee up on the upper left, which is the spot that pretty much all of us start with. And that's great. And in that case, you're working for somebody else and you're trading some level of time for dollars at some way, shape, or form. And then the next step through the cash flow quadrant is self-employed. And that's where many of you guys and gals who are watching this are self-employed if you're entrepreneurs, right? If you're an investor or an agent, you're likely in the self-employed bucket where you have a business, but you have a job in that business. And the job in that business might pay you really, really well even, but you still have a job in the business and you're self-employed, which is great, okay? And then it goes up to B, which is business owner, where you own a system that works for you. So this is where now you take that job you have, you find a way to build systems and processes and plug people into those systems and processes who you trust and you can do a great job and compensate them well, to where now there's a machine that starts to create the income for you, or you could technically step away for a month or 2 months or 6 months. And now that business will continue to go without you and it will still create income. But you still likely have some level of deep involvement in that business. You might be leading it, still have a lot of meetings in that business, but you could step away for a period of time. So you get a little bit more freedom. Now in the upper part here, which is investor, which is your money works for you. And that's kind of where, the self-storage is kind of somewhere between business owner and investor there, depending on your role in it. If you're buying a self-storage and you're actually managing it, awesome. You probably are in that business owner portion of it if people and systems are working for you. If you have a partner who's managing it and you're the investor with the cash or the person who landed the deal, then you're straight up in the I. You're in the investor buckets where it's doing the work for you. You're bringing in income on a consistent passive or semi-passive basis that doesn't require you to keep on churning deals. And I'll finish it with this is the key here is taking your good income that's coming from flipping houses, wholesaling houses, or being a real estate agent as a self-employed person, and then building systems around that to make it more and more consistent and predictable so people and systems can help you with that. But then taking some of that cash and investing it into long-term assets. Brian Rockwell, I was talking with him just recently. He was text messaging me last week and he said, dude, I just bought a business. I said, you bought a business? What kind of business do you buy? And he bought a completely non-real estate related business. It was it's like a Amazon hauler route or something. It's like the people who are out there delivering Amazon packages that don't actually work for Amazon. He basically owns several routes now to deliver, and he just earns passive cash flow. So he's an investor in it. He's not running the business. There's drivers, there's trucks, there's systems. And now he's able to take some of that cash from flipping and wholesaling and now put it into a business that he bought, or put it into multifamily that he's been buying lately. So, Keith, I'm pumped about this for you, man. And I want to see you keep stepping into that, dude. Keep building up some of the monthly checks that come from assets you buy. I love it.
My website's an asset.
It is, dude, 100%.
I got 3 checks while I was gone, or wires, from people that JV deals with me for my leads.
Yep.
And it was like 22 grand.
100%.
So.
And you didn't have
but
to.
I do want to buy more doors. But I was kicking myself in the butt. I'm like, man, I need more doors. Like I should buy more doors. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Like I'm looking at assets wrong. Like this is an asset and it's bringing me money. And I'm focused on it. But anyways, So
no,
I give myself a
100%.
pat on the back. No.
No, dude, I love it because if you were to look at those numbers and if someone were to buy just like valuing a business, so this is a good point because if you guys are really good at generating the online leads like Keith is, and it predictably pulls in X amount of leads a month and X amount of those turn into deals and they have an average profit per deal of whatever, if you were to take that annual profit, I'm going to put a number in here. Okay. Let's say it's 500 grand. That website's worth at least that, right? Now, would someone actually pay 500 grand for it? It's kind of hard to find the person who would. They probably want to go try to build it themselves and hire an SEO person and do all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, that is an asset because you put in the work up front and now it's starting to bring you that consistent evergreen leads and deals, which now that's the system working for you. You went from self-employed into that business owner bucket where there's a lot of systems working for you and sometimes might go back into the self-employed, which we all do. I love it, man. I love it. So we've got one last little section here. And if there's any questions, you guys can ask them here. And I think on this one, Brady, I'm going to toss it over to you, but we've got a little kind of a cool thing we're going to show people inside of the Carrot software to round this puppy out.
Usually, yeah. So this part of this segment of the show is tips that actually work. We like to give you guys something really quick, simple to implement in your business. Usually has to do with Carrot, your website. This one still does, but it's going to be even simpler. And I'm curious, Trevor, I'm going to want your take on this and maybe Keith's take on this first, because I know your thoughts on it. And they're both valid. Obviously, we talk a lot about credibility on the show. Credibility on your site is key to be able to build trust with people and convert visitors into leads, into people to do business with you. So your site has to build credibility and trust. The tip of the day, or the tip that actually works, is adding a Better Business Bureau accredited business badge to your website. Keith, what's your take on this? Why did you add it to your site? And then I'll toss it over to Trevor. What are your thoughts on the BBB?
I did it for the backlink, even though like literally. But I've had sellers tell me like, hey, I called you because I saw you're accredited. Like, you're the only one that I saw. And I feel all home buying companies should be accredited. Like, he straight up told me that. I've had another seller in my video testimonial after we closed say he had good Google reviews, good reviews on the triple B's, those are his words. And like, so like, yeah, he was the man. We closed on time, so I know it had impact and it was worth it. And so, yeah, it's definitely worth the $50 a month.
Cool. I love it. And guys, this right here is what we're talking about. So it's adding badges like this that really do help to add value. The Better Business Bureau, people might ask like, well, is that one better than something else? Well, you always want to add the credibility badges that your market deems as trustworthy and credible. So if, for you guys and gals who are Carrot customers in our community, you could probably really care less whether we have a Better Business Bureau badge on our website, right? Because you guys look at reviews in other spots, maybe Trustpilot, or in other software like G2 or G2 Crowd are where people go for reviews. So you're going to want to get reviews from there. In the real estate investor space, the Better Business Bureau is kind of that spot that's trusted, especially for people that are, let's say, over 45 to 50 years old. The Better Business Bureau is that spot. For people under 45 to 50, I think then that's where, especially under 40, that's where your Google reviews, that's where Yelp, if you're a restaurant, right? That's where those types of things are. So that's where we need to make sure we have a good mix of both, because the over 50 demographic really trusts Better Business Bureau. The under 40 demographic really trusts the Google reviews, Facebook reviews, and other things like that. So mix them both in there, y'all. It does add value. It does add conversions in a big way. I think the Better Business Bureau's business model, like, there's a couple things I don't love about it because they kind of extort you. For anybody and their dog can go place a negative review on your thing, even if it's completely false. And then you basically have to pay to fight them to get it off. But the cool thing is I have seen and I've heard reports from people that they've been a lot more easy to work with lately, the last couple of years, to remove bogus negative reviews, which is really cool. So while I've got this pulled up, I want to show you guys something really quick. And this is something that it's a newer addition to the software just recently. So this is Behind the Deal alumni, Carrot Camp alumni website, Adam and Lance from Dallas, Texas. So This here shows a lot of the keywords they're tracking. But if we were to count the number of keywords, if you're on the advanced marketer plan, we max you out at 20. Now, there was a specific reason why we put a 20 cap on it when we originally put that out. And it's because we go, well, you might want to have 4, 5, 6 keywords, maybe a little bit more than that for your homepage. And then we would then suggest people build out, let's say 10 or so location pages. But then as people started to really, this was years ago, as people started to really go for virtual wholesaling a lot more and go into different markets more and really go after longer tail keyword phrases, we realized there's a big limitation, of course, in our software for not allowing people to add more keywords. So this is something that we just rolled out. 2 things, actually. This is around the start of the year. You can now find search volume estimates inside of your accounts. If you're in markets where Google has the data that they're pulling back, if you're in a really small market or very small keyword, it might not show you the data, but this is a big market. It's going to give you estimates on approximately what that's going to cost in Google Ads if you were to do it per click. And once again, that's based on the data that we get from SEMrush. And if SEMrush doesn't have the data on that keyword because it's not searched very much or not very popular, then it won't have it. But for bigger markets and most other keywords, we'll find some sort of data. But this is in addition now. So guys, you can start to really leverage Carrot for the tool for all of your SEO tracking. We're going to keep on building out more of that feature set here. So if you want to do more keywords, you just go ahead and get more keywords. So you can do 40 packs of 40 extra keywords for only $10 a month. And so if I was on this website and I'm like, dude, I want to track a bunch more keywords with my other location pages around the Dallas market or other keywords or long tail phrases or whatever, $10 a month, and you can add and track up to 40 more, and you can do it again. We have some people who have added 2 or 3 keyword packs, and they're tracking well over 100 keywords in their Carrot site. So we're pumped about the extra things we're going to be building. There's going to be some backlink tracking and reporting type of functionality that we're working on this year and some other things as well. So keep an eye out on the SEO tools, guys, and go in there. And if you're maxed out in your keyword packs, go add a darn keyword pack and start to track all those keywords. That is it. Cool. Well, guys, we're nearing the hour. Keith, I appreciate you big time, man. And like I said, big time happy birthday for you. Wish I could be there in person with you. Your birthday was yesterday, correct? Or was it today?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Cool. Happy birthday for you on that, buddy. And like I always say, man, I'm just so grateful to know you and consider you a friend. And it's been really, really cool seeing you grow. And I'm just excited that you're part of the Carrot community and that you are like a massive go-giver just by nature. And I appreciate you big time, buddy. And thanks for sharing the story with us today.
Hell yeah, of course. I appreciate you guys too. Super pumped to see you in May.
Heck yeah. And guys, go to carrot.com/behind, carrot.com/behind. If you guys aren't subscribed to this yet, share this page up with your friends. Share this page up with people. Go right here, click the subscribe for updates, get on the list so we can email you every single time we have a Behind the Deal coming out. It's every other Thursday, okay? Every other Thursday at noon Pacific time. And you can also go back and check out the other episodes of Behind the Deal. You guys can check out the mobile house deal, I'm sorry, the zombie house deal. You guys can check out the free car deal where Bo Hollis got a free car in that deal as well. The $56,000 moldy house deal from Bo Hollis. That was a fun one. This one right here, my contractor bail deal from Keith previously. I quit my job deal. This is one where Bo helped a bank teller in his local area quit her job and get her first deal done. Now she is his acquisitions manager gal. The top dollar teardown, 10K house deal. He bought a house for $10,000 and shows you guys how he did it. The hidden door deal, the win-win-win deal, and now, of course, the beer box deal. So, guys, check it out, carrot.com/behind. Or just click the link that we'll post through here if you're watching this live, guys. So check it out, subscribe, and share this puppy up with people right now so more people can be on here with you guys, sharing these stories and having fun. So appreciate you, Brady. Always running a great show. Braden behind the scenes, man. Thank you, dude, for producing this puppy. And Keith, thanks for hanging out with us here today. Appreciate you.
Of course. Appreciate you guys.
Cool.
See y'all in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing rest of the day. Talk soon.